In January 2013, the Auditor General released his report on the Just-in system at the Ministry of Justice. To read the full report, please visit our website at www.bcauditor.com. The following presentation provides a summary of the report. As the nonpartisan independent auditor of the Legislative Assembly, the Auditor General audits the government reporting entity. This consists of ministries, crown corporations, and other government organizations such as universities, colleges, school districts, health authorities, and similar organizations that are controlled by or accountable to the provincial government. The Office of the Auditor General serves the people of British Columbia and their elected representatives by conducting independent audits and advising on how well government is managing its responsibilities and resources. Under the Auditor General Act, the Auditor General conducts and reports on both financial audits and performance or value for money audits. The Act also allows the Auditor General to follow up on any recommendations made in reports. Just-in was implemented throughout BC in 2001 to integrate the different processes in the justice system. It is critical for the administration and management of criminal cases, both adult and youth. It allows cases to be tracked from the initial police submission to the final court decision. All criminal cases in BC are submitted to Just-in, which now contains more than 15 years of information in one central database. The information in the system is some of the most sensitive information in the government. In the wrong hands, it could cause personal injury. Just-in is set up to follow the flow of the justice system. The process starts with the submission of police investigations called Reports to Crown Counsel, or RCCs. They are sent electronically from the police system to Just-in. The Crown Counsel offices receive the RCCs in Just-in and use them to determine if the charges recommended by the police will be laid. If charges are to be laid, the case will be scheduled for court by the Judiciary Branch, and preparation and management of court documents will be done by the Court Services Branch. At the completion of the case, if the verdict requires corrections supervisions, the RCC will be made accessible to users from the Corrections Branch. Our audit focus was on access to reports to Crown Counsel known as RCCs. These contain the most sensitive information in Just-in, including narratives with detailed descriptions of events written by the police, personal information including contact information about the accused, witness will-say statements detailing what a witness will say in court, contact information for witnesses and victims including names and addresses, and finally a charge assessment which recommends which charges will be laid, entered by Crown Counsel. There are approximately 3,300 Just-in users who have access to RCCs. These users are from the RCMP and Municipal Police, Criminal Justice Branch, also called the Crown Counsel, the Corrections Branch, including Adult Custody and Probation, the Ministry of Children and Families, including Youth Custody and Probation, and the Federal Crown Counsel offices. Our audit looked at the access from a need-to-know view, as well as the management and monitoring of user access. The Just-in system is in the Ministry of Justice computing environment. This diagram shows a very simplified view of that environment. The Just-in application and database are protected by the Ministry of Justice firewall. RCCs are submitted to Just-in from the RCMP's Prime BC system. The icons on the left show user connection methods and the networks from which the users can enter. Connections can be made from the government network, from external networks, and from the Internet. Connections go through the Ministry of Justice firewall before reaching the Just-in application or database. Our audit examined the security controls in the IT environment and at the entry points to the Just-in system. We took on this audit to assess the protection of Just-in information. To make this assessment, we needed to determine if the system was adequately secured from internal and external threats, and if Just-in information breaches were likely to be discovered and effectively managed. We concluded that Just-in information is not adequately protected from internal or external threats, and that it is unlikely that unauthorized access or removal of copied information will be discovered. Therefore, risks from wrongful disclosure are unlikely to be mitigated. We summarize the findings into 5 key findings to support our conclusion. First, the Just-in environment is not secured from external threats. Second, there is excessive user access. Third, highly sensitive data is not locked down. Fourth, there is no visibility or control over information leaving the organization. Fifth, proactive response is not possible as breaches could be undetected. To arrive at the first key finding, that Justin is not secured from external threats, we assessed the computing environment. We examined the security controls in the system and found critical misconfigurations in the firewall and many inadequate controls in key components throughout the system, including those in the servers and operating system. We conducted a penetration test attempting to access information as an attacker would. We were not able to break into the Justin database, but we were able to break into other systems that contained sensitive Justin data. In addition to sensitive information not being properly secured, an attacker will use information from one system to get to the next. For instance, if a password can be obtained from one system, there could be a chance the same password is used on another system. By looking at user access, we arrived at our second key finding, that Justin information was not secured from internal threats. User access to information is excessive and not based on need to know. There are over 3,300 users with access to almost all RCCs. These users have access to all the information in the RCC whether they need it or not, including victim and witness contact information and narratives. Our third finding related to the security of the data in Justin. We found that data is not classified according to sensitivity, and therefore highly sensitive data is not locked down. Highly sensitive adult RCCs, youth RCCs, and those pertaining to sealed court cases and pardoned individuals are accessible to most users. Our fourth key finding was that there is no visibility or control over information leaving the organization. User activity is not sufficiently tracked and access is not monitored. For example, all users are able to print hard copies of RCCs or save RCCs to file and email them out of the organization. There is no logging of this activity. The last of the key findings is the reactiveness or proactiveness to breaches. It is only possible to be proactive to a breach if the breach is known. With the absence of adequate detective controls, unauthorized access is not known and subsequently mitigation of risks is not possible. For example, there are no methods to detect compromised account or unauthorized access. And if there was a breach investigation, there is insufficient information collected to allow for a proper investigation. In total, there were 100 recommendations in the detailed management report. All recommendations were fully supported by the ministries. We summarized the recommendations from the detailed report into 5 key recommendations for the public report. The 5 key recommendations relating directly to the 5 key findings are: first, that controls in network and system components should be reviewed, reconfigured, documented, and better managed. Second, that user access to Justin information should be granted and managed based on the principle of need to know. Third, that highly sensitive Justin information should be properly classified and secured with extensive monitoring. Fourth, that more effective audit trails and tools should be in place. Fifth, that an effective monitoring program should be in place to enable proactive detection of unauthorized access and removal of copied Justin information. Looking ahead, the Ministry has provided our office with access to the action plan. We will continue to monitor their progress. A follow-up report will be issued next year to report on the status of the recommendations. That concludes our summary of this report. To read the report and our other publications or for more information about our office, please visit our website at www.bcauditor.com. The Office of the Auditor General encourages your feedback on this report, as well as your suggestions for further audits. We look forward to hearing from you.